Okay.
All right, there we go. All right, all right, all right. Let me just get this going. Here we go, here we go. Everybody, I know y'all see me. I see you, even though I can't see you. But y'all get what I'm saying. We're back. As you can see, I'm back. I have guests. You already know what that is. It is Friday's Eve. You already know it's the day before Friday. Everybody loves the weekend. I hope everybody's had a good week so far. I just want to say thank you all for joining me again. All my returning viewers, the usual suspects, you guys know I love you. Without you guys, this show could not be possible. Yeah, you guys and me, we're a team. Anyway, enough about that. I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm a local online news show. I talk about local, national, and international news. I am your host, Aaron Casey, and this is What's Up People News. Now, we're just going to jump right into it, people. As you see, I have two guests. This is the first time in What's Up People News history that we're interviewing two people on the show. This is also historic because these two wonderful people that you see in front of you are making history in their state of Florida, specifically Clearwater. So without further ado, I'm going to just introduce these wonderful people, these wonderful candidates, and I'll let them each speak about how they got into politics, things like that, and then we'll get right into the interview. First off, I just want to say welcome to Mr. Reverend Jonathan Wade. As you can see, this gorgeous, handsome brother in the corner. And we also have Miss Maranda Douglas, beautiful, sophisticated sister right there, as you guys see. So either one of you can start first. Mr. Wade, if you don't mind, just giving the viewers a quick background of, how you got into politics and how you got here today.
Okay. Thank you so much for having us on the show. And the way that I got into politics is kind of came in through the back door, so to speak. I was, of course, I'm sorry.
There we go. It's all right. Technical difficulties happen.
Yeah. I was going to a meeting in my community, and I was actually kind of saying that nobody was doing anything. That the community just needs a voice of reason. And when I went to the meeting, it was the North Greenwood Association meeting, and one of the brothers there said, "What are you doing?" You said nobody's doing anything. So he said, "Come to the meeting." And I went to the meeting and I saw the people that were there, probably about 20 individuals, a lot of seniors in our neighborhood. And they were talking about things that needed to change: business, community, grant dollars, community. And I sat at the table and they made me the vice president. And then I served as president of the organization for almost 20 years. Wow. In the interim, I was on some city boards, Parks and Rec Board, the Mayor's Task Force. And it was placed in my spirit at that time that one day I need to be able to run from office, because if there's nobody at the table that looks like us and have our concerns, then it's really shame on us. But because of my work schedule, I was not able to do both. So I retired 3 years ago, and the opportunity came up for a run for office. And it's been 30 years since an African-American has sat in a seat at the city council, and probably longer than one was elected. The last person was appointed to fill someone else's term. So I thought this time that I would run for office, and I think I have a really good chance of winning seat 5.
Awesome. The support is there. I definitely support you. And Miss Douglas?
I got involved because I was identified by my community. I'm a Florida native, a Pinellas County native, true. And so I was fortunate to be brought up under the values of the YMCA. And it was interesting when they came to our neighborhood in Largo, we didn't realize we didn't have the same resources as other neighborhoods had. And so it was sidewalks, it was paved roads to get to the parks, programs and things like that. And so I just always kept those values pretty close to me and always found ways to give back to the community. After I graduated from USF, quite naturally, I returned to public service and I was the executive director for a nonprofit, FYI Community Partnerships, where I led a civic engagement project and we did some murals and incentivized some local artists there so that they could expand their portfolio and find opportunities to advance their careers. And I've served on several boards in the city of Clearwater. And I've just always been focused on ways how we can improve our quality of life here. And so I serve on the Marine Advisory Board, the Arts Alliance, the Community Police Collaboration Panel, and just really being a liaison for the community and having a continuous conversation about what we would like to see in our neighborhoods and how we can be best represented. And so as Mr. Wade mentioned, that there hasn't been anyone of African-American descent or a female just until about 2 years ago in over 30 years. And so also too, we don't have any representatives for the young generation. And so that's what really compelled me to run as well, is to make sure that we have a voice and we are identified on the council so that we can really make some changes here and have a city that we can really appreciate and be proud of.
That's awesome. And you guys heard it. They understand the issues that you guys go through. They've been going through them. They've seen a problem that needed to be fixed. And they stepped up and tried and doing what they can to fix it. I was so glad when I got a chance to interview Mr. Morrow, because he said the same thing. He saw that there was a problem that needed to be fixed. And he was like, you know what? No one else is doing it, so I'm going to do it. And this is what we need. These are the type of politicians that we need in Congress, in the House, in the Senate, City Council. These positions are very important, people. Very important. And these are why they're on the show tonight. And we're about to get into the interview portion. We're going to learn a little bit more about them individually, different things like that. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. Mr. Wade, I will start with you. So question number 1. Can you explain why having a diverse city council is important for the city of Clearwater, Florida?
Yes. I mean, it's really ought to be common sense, but we don't take anything for granted. And there seems to be some things that are just not very common. When you don't represent or you don't live in a neighborhood or in a socioeconomic status that the people that you're representing, sometimes you overlook folks. And oftentimes you blame the victim for not being able to get out of a certain situation. So I believe that I come from a community where my parents were hard worker. They were in the service industry. They did menial work like maid work or housekeeping or being a nanny for someone else's children, and never really making a lot of money. So I'm the first college graduate in my generation, and I'm late. I graduated with my AA degree from St. Petersburg Junior College in the late 70s. I got my bachelor's in the 90s, and I got my master's in 2003 or 4. I can't remember now. But I was able to go back to school. I know the struggles that everyday people face. I know what it's like to make a salary, and once you pay your rent, your car note, your insurance, and try to put some food on the table. I know what it is to struggle week to week. So I think we need diversity in the council where people can understand the hardships that people go through in neighborhoods. It's often been said when the middle class Americans catch a cold, Black folks in the hood catch pneumonia. Yeah,
Yep.
it's different. It's a different. It's a different issue. Even though we have the same problems, if it's affecting one community at one level, it's affecting a poor community at a different level. And having people with a heart for people who know that struggle, I think that's one of the reasons you have to have people from different socioeconomic levels, different cultures, and to have the diversity to speak to the issues that of people who are struggling.
I agree. All right, we're gonna move right along. Question number 2. As an advocate for the environment, and Clearwater being a great place for being outdoors, of course, it's Florida, beautiful sun, blue waters, all that good stuff. I love being outdoors. What are your plans to tackle climate change and environmental issues in your city?
Well, the city has adopted the 2.0 Greenprint plan to reduce the carbon footprint and to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So I would be standing behind anything that's going to reduce our carbon footprint. And there's a company that the city has engaged, Synergistic, who will take responsibility for helping to decrease the amount of money that we pay for utilities, and the savings, which would be probably about $4,000 a year, to take those dollars and to put in housing programs and other services. So my goal is to be an advocate for the environment and work on that 2.0 Greenpoint plan to make sure that we can be in line, because we live in an area where we're on water on 3 sides. We're a peninsula on a peninsula. So if we ever have a sea rise, then everyone's in trouble. And we can't afford not to address issues with the environment. Personally, I've placed solar panels on my house, and I would be willing to give incentives for folks to have solar heating and to solar energy. And my plan is hopefully to even move towards having a battery operated car, to have a car that doesn't run on fossil fuel. So those are the things that I do personally, but I will advocate for that for the city of Clearwater. Anything that we can do to reduce our carbon footprint, I believe it's a real issue, a valid issue, and I believe we have the responsibility and the duty to take care of the planet for people coming behind us.
Excellent. I love it. Moving right along, question number 3. As housing prices increase, making buying a home less affordable, and you fighting for affordable housing, what are some of your plans for reducing home prices and making it more affordable in your city?
Okay. Well, we don't necessarily set the market. So we live in an area where it's very pristine and plush over here. Even our neighborhood, North Greenwood, we're a stone's throw from the beach. So people have their property. Gentrification has already taken place. So basically, we're at a point now that we just set up the city in collaboration with the Urban Leadership Coalition have set up a CRC to do some redevelopment as far as economic development with businesses, and they want to do some things with housing as well. So I'm going to support those issues. I am a product personally of being a recipient of the first-time home buyers program. I went through the city. I was able to get my lot purchased, and I was able to get down payment assistance as I went through the infill housing process. So I know firsthand that struggle, and to get people educated on the steps that they need to take and the organizations that they can go to get that first-time home buyers credit. And one of the things that they stopped doing is they stopped forgiving the money if the person lived in the house over 10 years. So I want to find out, is there a way that we can, for every year that person stays in that house and lives in the community, how can they take that down payment assistance money and work that off and not have to pay it back just by staying in the community, keeping their house, making the payments on time. I want to give that kind of incentive. And I don't look at it as a handout of welfare, because we give developers big dollars, just hand $1 billion to make things happen. And I think taxpayers who pay taxes ought to be able to get some of their tax money back given to them, not a handout, given back to them to build in their community. So I'll be an advocate for first-time home buyers program, working with community organizations like Habitat for Humanities, Clearwater Neighborhood Housing, the Community Development Center in Belmont area, and to be able to see if we can get people to get in houses. And the second piece is to help people have some rental assistance and some foreclosure dollars assistance set aside in case they run into hard times. But the education has to come first. We have to have people educated about their credit and home buying opportunities, and to make sure that they can stay within some kind of budget so they don't get out of whack and lose their houses.
All right, right. I agree. Trying to get more property now, but that's for another day. And lastly, my last question. Okay, here we go. Can you give a couple reasons why you are the best fit for the open seat and why people should vote for you?
Yes, I believe that I am the best candidate for the job, not because of my skin color, but like Martin Luther King says, for the content of my character. I believe pound for pound, dollar for dollar. I have a master's degree in social work, clinical social work. I've worked with diverse populations. I worked at WorkNet Pinellas, where I was the manager for the WorkNet industry. I've also started my own not-for-profit in North Greenwood, been in existence for over 20 years, and I rent space to the Democratic Party, North Pinellas Democratic Party. So I have a history that has a proven track record that I've been successful in starting with nothing and building something. And I believe that I can, individuals who think that they can't do certain things like go back to college or go to college for the first time or start their own business, or to be able to go down to City Hall and stand before the council and be able to make an argument to get their needs met in a community. I believe I'm the right person for the job. And I just believe by virtue of being able to sit in that seat, that young Black boys and young Black girls can see that a person can come from the neighborhood, have some adversity in their life, and rise above the adversity and become a leader in the community. I think that will speak volumes.
I think so too. So thank you so much, Mr. Wade. That ends your portion of the interview, and we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk with Miss Douglas. I hope you're ready over there. It seemed like you was taking some notes. You get ready?
Oh yeah, I'm always taking notes.
Nice. I love it. This is what we need. And I say this to a few people. I don't say this a lot, but I'll say this, and then we'll get into Miss Douglas's interview. But I tell people, and this, a lot of people I might get backlash, but this is how I feel. I feel that if you understand what the people go through, if you can relate, identify, have empathy, I think that is what we need. We need people like that. Mm-hmm. I say, if the person is Black, that's just a bonus. Mm-hmm. But we always have to look at what their policies are, what their platform is. Because I'll be honest, because there are some Black people who aren't really.
Yeah, Black faces and Black faces.
Yeah, they're not doing. They don't. Oh, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because we need people that understand the struggle, that understand the issues that we face. And the fact that everything you talked about is what we need. And the fact that you happen to be a Black man is just a bonus. But again, it's also about representation. There's a lot of different variables that are in place, but it should be about the policy and helping the people. And the fact that yourself and Ms. Douglas are Black is just a bonus, because everything you guys stand for is what the people want. So enough about that. Again, we're going to switch gears. We got Ms. Douglas, so let's get right into it. Question number 1. Once elected to city council, what will be the first issue that you will tackle in office?
Absolutely, affordable housing. We are in a true crisis right now. I'm one of the people going through it, and so as you were explaining a little bit earlier, the 3 pillars of my platform are relate, educate, and advocate. And so the reason why I was identified by the community to take this journey and run for city council is because I was somebody that they can relate to. I was somebody who was honest and open about the issues. And as I mentioned too, I'm going through the housing crisis as well. We rent here through COVID. Our rent went, sky high. I just finished the first time home buyers class. And one of the comments that our instructor made was that we can get down payment assistance for a house up to $300,000. And so the inventory for houses like that is almost next to none. And so as I began to really look for answers for myself, I found out that there were many people, almost every other neighbor when I was canvassing was saying the same thing, is that they're being pushed out of their homes. And so what I'm looking to do is really unpack this housing crisis. I know that Clearwater just signed a compact with Pinellas County to address these issues. However, they don't have any set objectives or measurable goals that we can go by. And so once I'm on council, I'm really going to be looking to develop those things and make sure that we have solutions in place that can really help alleviate the burden for our domestic residents here, because I think the number is over 60% of residents in Clearwater are facing a rental burden or the affordable housing crisis. And so I really want to make sure that we address that issue and have some alternatives available and ready for them moving forward as quickly as we can as well.
Awesome. We definitely need that. I did a report a couple weeks ago about people who are so desperate, they're paying literally millions of dollars overpriced to get a house. Some people are giving, vacations and rental properties for the weekend just so that they can close on a house, because let's just be honest, all these corporations are buying up all these properties, raising the property value. And buying a house and raising the property value is good, but when you have corporations doing it, buying up all these houses, they're pricing out first-time home buyers, even people who aren't first-time, who are more experienced that want to buy a home. They're getting priced out, and they have to go to these extremes like that. I'm sorry.
No, you're speaking the truth. You're speaking the truth.
It's just frustrating to hear that, like people need a place to stay. It's bad enough that homelessness and that whole aspect is just rampant across the country. Now we're in a situation where people can't afford to get a house. Like this is just crazy.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Anyway, I digress. Let's move right along. Question number 2. And it's kind of funny. It's similar to how you just what you were just talking about. But here we go. Inflation and housing prices are on the rise across the country, excuse me. What will you do to help the residents of your city afford housing? But you kind of already got into it. So, if you don't mind just getting a little deeper, could you, talk about that?
So when I think about affordable housing, I think about some other qualities of life that go along with that. So making sure your neighborhood is safe and walkable. So if you have street lights, sidewalks on both sides of the road, an even paved road, speed bumps, those things are important, especially for young families like myself with children who might want to play out in the front or, be able to walk to the playground. So making sure you're in a community where you can really have those features that add to the quality of your life. As Mr. Wade mentioned a little bit earlier, Clearwater has the Green Print 2.0 plan, And in that plan, we do have a target objective to add rooftop solar to 1,000 low to moderate income homes. And so that could eliminate the light bill. It can, offset the water bill and things like that to really keep that money in your pocket so that you have the opportunity to, pay your car notes so that you have transportation to get around, especially if you don't live near a transportation system or a bus stop. You could pay for programming so that your child can stay after school and get involved in programs, continuing to accent the quality of life. And so that's what I think about when it comes to affordable housing, is that we have to think about the things that surround that as well. Another thing that I'm looking at too, and I've been having some conversations with Habitat for Humanity, is that Clearwater is pretty much built out. We don't have a lot of space to do any more development. And I know everybody would like to have a single family home with your own backyard and driveway. But, when I think about this as well, if we really want to invest in this idea of generational wealth, we need to start looking at townhomes, at condos, at duplexes, and have a different mix or a variety of housing opportunities available so that we're not all burdened by, having a single family home. I know that, just the upkeep of making sure you have a new roof or even lawn service, things like that. If we could just diversify those opportunities, that could really create some avenues of relief around the affordable housing crisis.
And having, I have a couple of my good friends. They own property here in Massachusetts. We have 2 families, 3 families, 3. And what I mean by that is 2 family homes, so they're stacked on top of each other, or 3 family homes where you have three units, almost kind of like a small, tiny apartment building. But if you wanted to talk about wealth, that is an excellent way to make some good income. Especially if you have a multifamily and you have your own residence, that's 2 incomes. That right there may pay for the mortgage. Then you have the money that you're making from your regular job, and you can pay bills, programs, after school programs, go on vacation. You've been wanting that new iPhone that come out this September. You got the money for it now.
Got the money for it.
You got the money for it. That is, right?
Yeah,
But no,
there's additional things that play into it. And so that's why I try to think about as well, making sure your home is, near a well-paying job, making sure your job, pays you well enough to afford you the quality of life that you're looking for. And, there's a lot of things that go into it outside of the home. And so I want to make sure that we're thinking about all of those different tentacles and addressing them so that we can have some real solutions and really have a game plan around what we're going to do for our residents here around affordable housing. And so another thing as well is that the city just got, I think there's a total of $22 million in this American Relief or Rescue Funds or something like that. And they didn't have a real solid plan on what they were going to do with this money. And so that's another thing, but I want to make sure that a portion of those funds, if not most of them, go towards addressing the affordable housing crisis and making sure that we really do take care of our domestic residents. Clearwater is typically always focused on tourism and development, downtown and the beaches. We really need to be thinking about our people inland and the people that have already invested here and making sure we take care of them first.
That's awesome. Awesome. Question number 3. Nowadays, everybody is starting their own business. I have mine. I assume from what you guys are saying, you have yours as well. Small businesses help the local economy and has jobs for residents. My question to you is, how will you help small businesses in the local economy of your city?
Sure. This is an excellent question. Yes, I am a small business owner. My business is Top Knot. It's a marine services network. So I do everything from boat charters to small boat repairs.
Oh, snap.
And I got my captain's license, so I'm really looking at developing some training programs around that as well, hiring youth from the community and making sure that they just really get this exposure. With Clearwater, again, most of the focus is traditionally on downtown businesses or businesses on the beach. And we don't really take care of the businesses that are inland. And so we do have a Chamber of Commerce here, and they do have this program called Clearwater Young Professionals that's supposed to be helping out these local businesses by providing them some kind of support, but it's not productive and it hasn't really been showing results. And so what I would like to do is really make sure, again, we have some measurable goals and some action plans to really pair these young professionals up with businesses for some dedicated mentorship. So whether it's, the first 6 months or the first year after opening, that person, that business always has somebody that they can go to help them with their social media presence, building their website, financial forecasting. And it doesn't have to be the young professionals solely, because we do also have a network of retired CEOs and executives that can also invest in this opportunity as well, to make sure that our local businesses do have the resources that they need to be sustainable and to be successful here in Clearwater. Another thing that I've been noticing as well is that we have a lot of crafters here in Clearwater, but we don't have vendor fairs or any markets really available for them to showcase their services and their products. And so they're moving to Safety Harbor or Dunedin or St. Pete or Tampa to find those opportunities. But, think about the cost of traveling, packing up all your stuff, traveling there. Maybe you get a sale because these are complete strangers, but if we were able to have those opportunities right here in our own backyard, amongst our neighbors, amongst our family, amongst our friends, it could really increase the rate of success. So I want to make sure that we have some more local platforms for our business owners to, again, be more successful here in Clearwater. And I think it's going to be really a responsibility for the city council to make sure that our Chamber of Commerce is really dedicated to supporting our local businesses beyond the ribbon cutting day. Ribbon cutting is great. You got cameras, you actually get to cut the ribbon. Some of our officials are there. But after that, when the dust settles, I hate to see those businesses just be left out in the cold. And so the place where I had my kickoff event for the campaign, really amazing opportunity. It was a wine venue. It's called Pour Yours. They had been there for a couple of years. But they were in the wrong location. They did not get the foot traffic that they needed to be successful down there. And they weren't given any alternatives or any other, assistance for location. And so he had to close his doors. And it was a really tough conversation, from one Black business to another, and from just one business owner to another, to hear that and to hear the frustration in his voice that he didn't have anyone that he could reach out to for support, for answers, or for any assistance. And so I wanted to make sure that we do capture those people and make sure that we hold on to them and do whatever we can to make sure that they're successful here and continue to invest here.
Agreed. And again, like I said in the question, small businesses help your local economy. It helps the economy. People are getting jobs. Now, it may not be a lot of jobs, but if you have a couple of small businesses, those small jobs add up. And a lot of people are being able to get work, maybe even be interested in saying, hey, I like this business. Maybe we can franchise it. Let me learn some more about it. So it's supporting small businesses is definitely important for any state, not just Florida and Clearwater for your city, but it's important for across the country, because that's how we are able to move the economy in the right direction.
Right.
When you hear, again, I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Y'all saying some good stuff, man, and I hope that people are out there taking notes. I hope they're really taking this stuff in, because a lot of these issues that you're talking about, other than when it's dealing with the beaches, we're kind of dealing with those same type situations here in Massachusetts. So to hear you guys' ideas, it's just invigorating. Like, dang, I need to run for office and take some of these ideas and apply them here. It's just, it's the energy. You guys are coming with great answers, great energy. And again, I hope the people in Clearwater, Florida are really taking notes and taking heed to what you guys are saying. So last question, and then we'll get into our lightning round. I said this earlier. I love camping. I love hiking. I love fishing. I get that from my dad. My dad wakes me up at 3 o'clock, butt crack at dawn in the morning. And he like, we're going fishing. Anyway, fishing, outdoors, hiking, camping. People have been talking about climate change, the environment, renewable energy. Clearwater has the outdoor ventures and then some. What are your thoughts and plans for the environment and issues and keeping Clearwater clean and pollution free?
Sure. So I definitely am an advocate for making sure our water stay clean. That's what led me to the marine industry, was to really explore how we can protect our oceans and how we can be good stewards of the environment. And so my plan would be to support our Greenprint 2.0 action plan, which addresses these climate changes around sea level rise, because as Mr. Wade mentioned again, we're a peninsula on a peninsula. And so when we have sea level rise, not only does it affect our beach communities and those houses, typically our lower income neighborhoods tend to flood. And so I want to make sure that we upgrade our storm water systems and make sure that they are prepared for the next hurricane season, because there's not going to be too many more opportunities where we are just blessed by the hurricanes. And so I'm also a really big advocate for protecting our green spaces. As I mentioned earlier, Clearwater is pretty much built out. And so the only way that we'll be able to develop any more is by taking away our green spaces, taking away the count from our parks, golf courses, anything that's green is going to be the only place where we have to develop on. However, that really does change the quality of life here, because those are parks for our children. Those are golf courses for people of the community to come together and have wellness. And so I want to make sure that we are being proactive about protecting our communities using the Greenprint Action Plan. And so with sea level rise, we do need to repair our seawalls and make sure that everyone is up to code on that. And there's some barriers in the code and the development where if your neighbor doesn't have the seawall improved, you can't be the first one or something like that. So I want to make sure we clarify that. And so that everybody, if they want to just go ahead and get that protection, they're incentivized to do so. Additionally, for pollution, when I was doing the storm drain murals, when I was doing the murals in Lake Bellevue, we were doing storm drain murals. And those are like the little drains on the side of your road, maybe by the mailbox. And so, and, oftentimes people throw trash down there, grass debris goes down there. And with our stormwater system, those lead right back out into the bay. There is no filter. There's no other opportunity for us to collect that trash until it gets to the water. And with Clearwater, everybody loves the sea life. Everybody is really looking forward to going to the beaches. And so educating the community on the function of those storm drains and really just showing them the real effects of what happens. Turtles, getting messed up by the soda can, plastic wrappers, the straws, bottle caps, all those things just really affecting the wildlife and, taking away from the seagrass, which is starving our manatees. And so it's just going to be an opportunity for us to make sure that we're educating the community on those effects and continuing to be proactive about it instead of reactive, because I would just really hate to see us, lose our beach community, as well as see that trash and debris get regurgitated up into the neighborhoods that are affected by flooding.
And I heard I seen a study. I read a study years ago, and it was basically talking about the scientists picked a random community, and they had one community every day or every week pick up little bits of trash, and then they had another community that didn't. And the mental change that happened with that one community when they were picking up the trash, their idea of community change, their idea of themselves, how they saw their neighborhood, it changed just by picking up trash. And if we can get that type of mentality, even with the storm drains, just, hey, pick up the trash. When you see something that's beautiful, you're like, yo, I don't want to do nothing to it. Fresh pair of shoes. You don't want to get them dirty. You might put plastic bags over them. You might just keep them in the box on the wall. Like, I don't want to do nothing to them. they're too nice. I don't want to mess up. Pristine, right?
Right.
When people see something like pristine, nice, they want to make sure they keep it that way. Same thing I feel with this study in the neighborhood. If you're in a neighborhood and you see trash and things like that, your mentality about the neighborhood, yourself, where you stay personally, it's going to be crap because you're like, why? Look at where I stay. But I say that to say it's the little things can have a major impact. And just by picking up trash, little, every day, little piece here, throw it away, little piece here, throw it away. That will have a profound change in that person or that community's mentality about that neighborhood. Because now they're seeing, oh man, this actually looks nice. Right. You know what I mean? That opens up for, people who do lawn care work. If you don't feel you have the right tools or you don't think you can do it, now you can hire a local business that does lawn care, whether it be trees, grass. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how it goes in Clearwater in Florida, but they have something similar like that here where, people come out, cut your grass, trim your trees, your bushes. That's like, oh snap, my house looks nice. Yeah. And then when you look at the neighborhood and your next door neighbor's like, yo, I actually live in a nice neighborhood. This is cool. I like this. This right. Nice. I don't want nobody to mess it up, right?
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
If you don't have that mentality, if you walk out your door and you see trash and wrappers and unfortunately in some neighborhoods needles and things like that, you don't care.
Right.
I don't care how it looks. I don't care how my house looks because it changes the mentality. So if we can have something like that. Again, these are some great ideas that will help the people, help the community. I'm done. I'm sorry. I did it again. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for you guys. That actually ends the interview portion of the show. We got 2 more things to do before we wrap this up. We'll have a quick lightning round, 4 questions. They're all fun, nothing serious. So I'll ask one question and then both of you guys give me your answer to those questions. And we'll do it like that. Okay. That sound good?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Question number 1. And this is a toughie. This is a doozy. I hope y'all ready. What's your favorite movie? Ooh. What is your favorite movie? Now it doesn't have to be the best movie. It can be one of your movies, but what's your favorite movie?
I know mine. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's for several reasons. One, the sarcasm in there, the adult jokes in there that you don't even understand until you become an adult are classically hilarious. And also, it's just a real example of entrepreneurship and him really taking advantage of that industry and being successful in his own strange way. And so that's my favorite movie.
Nice. What about you, Mr. Wade? What's your favorite movie?
Well, if I had to have a favorite, I have 2. First thing came to mind was Color Purple, but I think
classic.
But I think Boys in the Hoods, either they don't know or they don't show. What's going on in the hood.
Right, that's true. Okay, all right.
Both of them classics. Yeah. Oh, I love them. Them. All right, so question number 2. Now I asked Mr. Wade this earlier just to get his brain thinking, but I'm gonna ask you as well. And again, both of you guys give me your answer. Living in Florida, y'all got a lot of wildlife just roaming around, right? Just out in the public. So with that being said, have you ever had any encounters with the wildlife just out and about? And if so, what happened?
I mean, I see wildlife all the time. It really just depends on where you're at. I seen a couple of peacocks the other day just walking through the neighborhood, and I stopped and took a picture.
Peacocks, like with the feathers?
Yeah.
What? Just chilling?
I'm not exactly sure of this story. I think there's a farm or someone who owns some of them somewhere. But yeah, there was like 3 or 4 of them just crossing the road, and I just let them go.
Yeah,
Big?
they used
Wow.
to be a peak from here a long time ago, so there's still some.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, I mean, gators are common, snakes are common. I hate snakes. Iguanas are common down South Florida. But what's uncommon, I've been in Florida my whole life, and I was coming home one night and I saw what I thought was a dog, but it was walking funny. It was a coyote that was.
Whoa! I don't play with those.
I've never seen a coyote in real. I'm like, what the heck? That was kind of weird.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of reports of those too.
Yeah, they eating people dogs.
That's what I've been seeing. Yeah, they've been getting people dogs.
Yeah, they're running wild. We're killing their habitat, so they everywhere now.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna switch it up. We was talking about outside, having fun. What kind of critters? What's your favorite movie? But my next question, because now we gotta switch it up a little bit. What's your favorite book? What book would you suggest? Or again, favorite book, or what book would you suggest someone to read?
I'll go first.
Okay.
My favorite book of all time, and I got to give the backstory to this. I was making A's and B's in college, and I was coming back with all these answers. And I had a Muslim brother, say, "Man, they educating you away from your community. You were better off before you went to college." He said, "Read this, A Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson."
Got that book.
Must read for every African American. I just think that's a must read. It's a prophetic book, and it just kind of takes you into another realm.
Wow,
so it does.
That's good.
So it does. And you, Miss Douglas?
Back to me. So I do a lot of reading, so it's hard to think of a favorite book.
Or any book that you've read that may come to mind.
The book that's coming to mind for me right now is Sometimes Farm Girls Become Revolutionaries.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a new book written by one of my good friends. Her name is J.K. Morton, and it's the story of Florence Tate and just her entire history from her youth to her involvement in the civil rights movement. And it was just a really inspiring book. And so I think I got it somewhere close by, but I would say check that out. It was really awesome. It was a great read, easy read. Sometimes Farm Girls Become Revolutionaries, and that was just recently.
Send me the link to that, and I'll make sure to share that with some of our viewers.
Okay.
I love reading books. Part of that, and I'll give you a quick backstory real quick before we wrap it up. I have an immaculate book collection. I don't brag about it enough, but I need to start doing it, and I'm putting it out there. My book collection, chef kiss. I got nonfiction. I got books written by Black authors. I had the book that Mr. Wade brought up. Another good book is the Broder Files. Oh, love it. If you want to get into that psychological, the Broder Files, people, the Broder Files. It's a great one. But my last question before we start to kind of wrap this up, it's late. I'm starting to get hungry. I consider myself a foodie. I love to eat. It don't look like it. I'm a fat kid. I'm sorry. I just got to put it out there. I love to eat. So kind of a two-part. What's your favorite food? And if I were to come to Clearwater, what place would you recommend I eat at?
That is a good question. That is a good question.
I've been doing this sometime. I've been doing it.
Well, I know for me, my favorite food is meatloaf. I'm like a meatloaf snob. I'm going to all the restaurants to try that meatloaf and, toot my little nose up at it to see if it's good enough. And so yeah, that's my favorite food. I just love it. All different ways. I've made it with mushrooms. I've made it with barbecue sauce. I had a barbecue meatloaf one time. Excellent. And if you come to Clearwater, I'm going to tell you to eat at my house. Eat at Randa's because I'm throwing down. I'm throwing down. We don't have a lot of soul food places here, which is a little bit disappointing. But yeah, come to my house.
Nice. And yourself, Mr. Wade.
Man, well, I as you can tell, I like all of it, but yeah,
Let's go.
I had to have a favorite food. It had to be, I'm simple, a spaghetti, a lasagna guy. That's me.
Yes.
That's my favorite kind of food. And I would just go to Carrabba's. They take you to Carrabba's because we don't, it's sad that we don't have a soul food restaurant in our neighborhood. I have to go to Plant City or Lakeland or somewhere else to get soul food. So that's one of the things that I'd like to see, that we can have a restaurant where we can take our families out and have some stuff that we like to eat sometimes.
Right.
So.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with some fried chicken, some greens, some mac and cheese. Hey, throw some peach cobbler in there. We good.
Right. Yeah. We got Popeyes.
Yeah.
Popeyes. Yeah, Popeyes is cool. I'm rocking with Popeyes. I can't lie. Their chicken sandwiches, they do be hitting that spot sometimes. I have to say that. I have to say. So we're getting down to the last little bit. Again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking a little bit of time out of your busy schedule to spend some time with me. I do have one more final question. It goes to the both of you. And after you guys get done answering the question, if you can let people know where they can follow you, any social medias, things like that, and then I'll close out the show. So my last question for both of you, and you guys can go in any order that you like. With everything that we talked about tonight, what is the one thing, whether we talked about it tonight or we didn't, but what is the one thing that you want voters to walk away with tonight, knowing about you, whether it be personal, your platform, your policies? What's that one thing that you want the voters to walk away with tonight?
Sure.
And yeah, either one you guys can go first.
Actually, the one thing I want voters to walk away with tonight is that I'm a grassroots person. I believe in fighting for disenfranchised, disinherited, and marginalized folks. I believe in community, and I think we have to get back to community. And when I'm elected to city council, I'll be a city council member that will care more about people, human capital, and less about development. Not that development isn't important, but I think that side has been well taken care of, and I think we have overlooked those who are marginalized, disenfranchised, and disinherited. So that would be my focus, and that's who I am, a grassroots individual. My campaign website, it's a long one, so it'll be in the chat. Jonathan Wade SR campaign city council seat5.com. That's a mouthful, and if I had to do all over again, I would never do that. So,
and don't worry, everybody, everything that they're talking about, their website, social medias, I'll definitely have in the description after the show. So if you don't catch it, don't worry. I'll have a link where you guys can learn more about them, their platform, and if you want to donate. And again, I'll talk a little bit more about that once in my closing, but go right ahead, Ms. Douglas. The
donation is done. You can't donate now. It's past that time.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'll make sure to have their website. So you guys can learn more about them.
So I would like voters to walk away with is we have to stop waiting until the presidential election to expect some change. You really have to identify who your partners are on the local level and develop this idea. What I've been working on is develop this chain of change that can help you address those issues, starting at the local level and working our way up into the federal presidential level. And so I'm looking to be a partner here on the local level in Clearwater. As we mentioned earlier, I can relate. I'm right here with you. I'm from the neighborhood, for the neighborhood, and I want to make sure that we really have a place here that where locals can thrive, and that's local families and local businesses, and really have the resources that we need so that we can be proud of our city of Clearwater. You can reach me online at Maranda, the number 4, Clearwater.com, at Gmail, and on Instagram is just Maranda4 Clearwater. And I'm just really excited for this opportunity. We really need to get more young representatives on all levels of government. I think it's really important for our voices to be heard, add diversity, and just really just take advantage of partnering up with our local representatives at the city level so that we can really push forward those ideas that we would like to see here. And so affordable housing is definitely on the table, but unless we really define what that looks like here at the local level, it's going to be really hard for our president to, execute on those ideas. The same thing with college tuition, same thing with making sure we have jobs. If change starts at the local level. And so I'm looking forward to being a representative on that front. And I'm encouraging everyone, don't wait until the presidential elections. Get to know your candidates here in the city, at the county, at the state level, and identify your chain of change. And, just be prepared to raise your voice and vote for the people who represent you the best.
And I couldn't have said it better. And that's one thing that we always promote on this channel, knowing who your candidate is, knowing what they stand for. If you have issues that you're concerned about the economy, find the candidate that's talking about the economy and listen to what they want to say, their ideas to help better the economy, which means will help better you. If you're worried about healthcare, find a candidate that's talking about healthcare. Find the candidate that matters, that has the same issues that you want to get tackled. And again, like we said earlier, and if the person just so happens to be Black, that's a bonus. But we have to get the people in office, in place, that matter, that understand the struggles that we all go through, understand the complexities. That's what we need in office. The billionaire politician in office is played out. Half the people in Congress are billionaires. They don't understand what it is to buy milk. They ain't got to go down to the local gas station and fill up the tank every day, every other day. They don't have to worry about the bills. They don't have the same issues. So when it comes to policies, they don't understand in the least. Now, don't get me wrong. Making money is awesome. We all want to. But when that's your only focus, and you put those people in positions of power and policy making, they don't understand the issues that we go through. They have no idea. So for them to say, oh, you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Half the people don't even got bootstraps.
Right.
Some of you don't know what a bootstrap is. What is that? Is that a belt for your feet? Like, what is that? So we need people in office like Miss Maranda Douglas and Mr. Jonathan Wade. These people understand the issues that you're going through. I don't live in Clearwater, Florida, but they do. They understand. They're part of the community. They grew up in the community. They had the struggles that everybody in that community goes through, and they want to represent you to make a change. So I hope you guys take some good notes. They answered some tough questions to the best of their abilities, some great answers. These are some great people. I wish you guys the best of luck on your campaigns. Again, I want to say thank you so much for spending a couple moments, a little bit over an hour with me. I thank you. Again, the best of luck to both of you guys on your campaign. Their websites, I'll make sure to have in the description after the show, so you guys can go to their web pages and find out more about them, their policies, what they stand for. Definitely, y'all need to be reading those About Me pages. That's very important. Those About Me pages is almost just as important as the policy issue pages on their website. Learn about them. But again, thank you guys so much. To all my viewers, the usual suspects, you guys rock. This is your second, I put one, this is your second reminder. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that like button on the way out. I appreciate you guys. Without you, this show is impossible. But again, it's a partnership because I'll still make it if you guys weren't here. But y'all get it. Y'all know. But thank you again. You guys have a wonderful night. All you great usual suspects, please come back next week. We'll be interviewing Brent Heinrich from Washington District 3. He's running for city council as well. He got some good ideas when it comes to healthcare and things like that. So y'all need to tune in next week for that interview. But that's all I got. Miss Miranda, Mr. Wade, you guys have a wonderful night. And hopefully I can see you guys again soon.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.